Houston. All right, so Jake Dickert's a hot topic, right, Paul? They've had a little bit of a funk in the last couple of weeks, but
it's called Arizona.
Yeah, but Greg Woods, and he also does credit John Canzano with a different same type story, though. I asked Jake Dickert about the Athletic reported he was a candidate at Michigan State. Asked him too. So did John Canzano. Both times, Dickert has denied any contact with Michigan State. I'm all about holding people accountable, but if we ask coaches about every rumor, that's all we would ever ask. And Kuka Sutra, who's been on the show, a big Washington State fan, was asking about, do you know if there's been any formal contact with Michigan State and also Jake Dickert?
I think Jake Dickert would be a good head coach for anybody to hire if you were trying to wrestle him away from Washington State. I'm curious about him and Jonathan Smith and what they see as their future, especially given that the end of the season may come and you still might not have clarity on what your schools are going to be really doing. So if you when it comes to recruiting and all the different things and what's your schedule going to be, I would think that by the end of the season there will be, but man, it's the middle of October right now and they don't have any answers and they're in court. So, do you, if you're Jonathan Smith said his alma mater, Jake Dickert's done a great job under really strange circumstances coming out of Nick Rolovich's firing for not getting the vaccine and all the things that happened. He's done a great job there. But do you just decide, look, if Michigan State's going to hire me, that's much more stability theoretically than I have here at Wazoo right now. But I don't think that maybe Michigan State's all the way down that road there yet. They should be here in a couple weeks, though.
I mean, yeah, the mediation's ongoing with the Pac-12 schools and figuring out what they're, ultimately going to do as far as that legal battle goes. And, I think it's been kind of quiet on the coaching front, so it's interesting to start sort of getting that. And I guess we're at the halfway point, so it only makes sense that it's about time to start talking about coaching positions. I guess there's just not a lot of Grand Slam candidates to be on the hot seat right now. Even Neil Brown, who seemed like an obvious at the start of the year, very clearly has cooled that off. Dave Aranda, we can talk about him, but he's not really on the hot seat. I wouldn't put it that way at all. Like lukewarm is what we said yesterday at best. So you really think about it, and other than the jobs that just kind of abruptly opened up, like a Michigan State, there's really not anything that I can think of that's sort of, Paul, you the top five. Yeah. I don't think there's really any big coaching. The Jimbo thing, that's just ongoing, and that's not really it's about to happen or anything.
I can tell you the ones that are if I was betting in Vegas of who's going to come open, I would say Boston College, Nevada, things like that. But if you're Jake Dickert, why would you leave Wazoo to go to Boston College or Nevada? Boston College is in a Power 5 for sure, but even still, Wazoo's a better job than Boston College is, even in the situation it currently sits in right now. So yeah, those are the things that are probably for sure going to open up. Where's Butch Jones? That one might open up. So those jobs are open now. Look, if Texas A&M opens up, then any coach who would be interested in going to the SEC and making a ton of money are going to put feelers out on that one. But that would be only the second big one. In Michigan State was less to do with the coach's performance, at least at this time, and totally to do with the fact that he did a stupid thing off the field.
Yeah, so you've got a big job that's opened up, and there's going to be a lot of candidates for that, especially when there's not a lot of them opened up. So, Michigan State's a big deal for any coach looking to make a jump right now. I don't know, obviously, what Jake Dickert wants to do. I know that, he's going to give quotes, and people are going to take that however they want to, but they mean absolutely nothing whatsoever. He gave the quote, "I have not talked to a single person, not just in the bye week, but any week. I love being here. I don't need to defend my position here. This is a job that I'm here to do. Does that sound like every other coaching statement before he's either stayed or left?
Copy and paste, yes.
Yeah, you have. Let's break it down for the folks who haven't done the coaching carousel thing. Of course, he's not talked to anybody because his agent would be talking to anybody. Now, is there anything to it? I don't know, but I think he'd at least have to kick the tires. Anybody would just to see what the money is. And hey. By the way, Michigan State just called. They're offering me $4.5 million, whatever it is a year. So he's going to play the game. But, I hope for Washington State's sake that he does stay there, especially in this time of turmoil, in this time of uncertainty. He's a great fit there, and they're doing a really good job with that program. And I know that, especially in the face of uncertainty, you want to have as much stability as you can. So, yeah, we'll see. But no surprise that his name's being mentioned. And the Michigan State search in general has been just kind of quiet. I've seen a little article here and there, but I would imagine that we're going to start getting kind of into the heat of that thing here as we start to hit the second half of the season, and whatever other jobs may open up. But I think Michigan State does sit in a good spot to where they are kind of the only premier, I guess you would call it, spot that's open at the moment. And so that's as opposed to the last couple of years when you've had like every job no demand's been open. Notre Dame, Oklahoma, USC,
Oregon,
or like
well,
so
2
on,
years ago,
Miami.
yeah.
I mean, all of these jobs have been open, and it's not quite building up to be that way this year. So yeah, there's going to be a few candidates that have a better shot at a bigger leap, I guess.
Absolutely. One of the things I want to bring up, Craig started listing all those names of those schools that were open the last couple of years. One of the reasons somebody was bringing up the Dave Aranda extension, those jobs were open right after 12-2, or in the middle of it.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that
So
somebody asked about.
even-
Why did they extend him? And that was one of the reasons.
Yeah. So like just kind of trying to extrapolate out like what like bigger jobs could be open. Like what's bigger than Washington State that could be open? Okay, Michigan State could be open. Cal, I mean, maybe. I don't know. Like,
Okay.
like you
Not
would.
leaving Washington State for Cal.
Yeah, exactly. In the SEC, really, you're talking about the potential of A&M and perhaps Arkansas, just because of the way they've gone. Everybody else has replaced their coach in the last couple of years that would have done that, so it would be premature.
What about Mississippi State?
I mean, it's just been 1 year, though.
No, I know. I don't want.
Yeah.
That guy took over a hellacious situation with Leach, but that's the possibility of what the contract is with him.
So and then you look at the Big Ten, like, okay, Michigan State's already open. Indiana's probably going to be open. Northwestern could be, but Northwestern might hire Braun because he's done a pretty good job in the face of like something completely out of his control. So I don't know. Big 12 might have one or two, if that.
They might have guys who go elsewhere, and that's not trying to bring up something because we want Kleiman. I want Kleiman and Leipold and them, Matt Campbell, to remain in the conference. Craig?
Yeah, I mean, just the overall point here is that Jake Dickert is going to say what he has to say to keep it moving. And if there's anything talking behind the scenes, then yeah, he's not involved with it per se, but it's his attorney or it's his agent or whoever. But yeah, he's going to be one of many people that I'm sure Michigan State kicks the tires on, and some of these other jobs probably at least look into. But I hope, like I said, that he stays at Washington State because they seem to have a good thing going. But yeah, not surprised to hear his name mentioned. I'm just surprised that there hasn't been more coaching carousel talk in general. But that's also the lack of jobs and the fact that there's been so many over these last couple of years that have opened up.
By the way, Garrett, we'll save that note on